let's start off. Let's go right in. You ended last season with a little bit of a cliffhanger, a little bit of a bang.
A little bit.
Refresh our extra audience. Where did you leave us?
We left you with a giant car explosion in the city center of London, in which Hal was there. What's Otto's character's name? My DCM Stuart.
Oh, I'm so glad that you did that. I live in terror.
And 2 people in my staff. So people we care about, people who work with us that we're responsible for. That's where we left off. We don't know who does. No. We don't know. And Kate is in Paris with a dashingly handsome other guy.
Calm down.
Which, by the way, we are, as the kids say, we are shipping this. Sorry, no offense. Hal.
Right.
No offense, Hal.
That is such. I learned that from my kids too. So that's where we left off. But in all, like, any times of great stress, when that kind of thing happens, it brings you back home, and all the other extraneous things go away, and you get closer to home and go. I think you're protective of your family and those you care about, and everything comes in really tight.
Absolutely.
That's what I would say.
And I'm not going to give it away, but the dynamic in those first scenes together, oh my goodness, it's just beautiful.
Oh, good.
It's beautiful.
Oh, good.
What was it like for you? What can you tell us about what happens now as we pick up this season?
Well, as Keri said, this can happen in a relationship where you could be harboring very serious doubts, or it could be further along than that, and then something happens on their side, and that could be something bad, or it could be them suddenly having an interest in someone else, and suddenly your own hold on your own feelings gets scrambled. When something terrible happens, that everything else kind of recedes into the background. It doesn't go away completely, but it becomes invisible for a while. So we are suddenly reunited. Pretty banged up. It's touch and go for a while. And we are thrown back together in one way. And also, because of what's happened, we don't know who's in on it, who's fully responsible. That the matter of who she can trust, or who anyone can trust, is so up in the air that it pulls us together.
Definitely.
Because actually, despite the fact that Hal has a reputation for being naughty, he is inherently trustworthy in the true sense. So that's kind of where we end up very early on. And then, of course, as the dust settles, the reality of the situation as it was before the explosion does begin to come back.
Absolutely. It's so smart. I mean, it's like, it's
so
one of the smartest shows on. You have to pay attention.
You do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't dumb down to the audience
No.
like so many shows. And the acting truly is a masterclass.
Oh.
And adding to this Allison
And
Janney.
then add Allison Janney, I know.
Allison Janney is so good.
I mean, come on.
I
Talk
know.
to me about working with Allison.
First of all, Allison Janney in Primary Colors, that scene where she trips going up the stairs, I've played that so many times. I love her so much.
But that's the scene she got the West Wing out of.
I heard
apparently.
that.
That's
yeah.
the thing that they were watching.
I love that. I love her in that. She's so funny.
And we all watched that again as part of our, when in prep for this as well.
I was just texting with her last night.
No big deal.
She is so great. She really brought a whole other element to the show. What Deborah has written for her is so good. She has such great dialogue, and the scenes with Kate are so great. I hope people enjoy it, and it is such a boon.
Oh, we get a
her.
fun dinner party scene. The three of us.
Yeah, we do. That's true.
I love it. I have to say, one of the things I love most is just the physicality of Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Like the hair, the clothing, that scene with the dress when you're ripping off the back. I mean, where did these nuances come from? You are embodying the stressed out diplomat.
A lot of it, Deborah writes. I mean, she really does. All those weird little itchy things in the beginning. Deborah writes a lot of that. I mean, I enjoy playing this part and doing those scenes, but a lot of it is in the writing. But it's just a good part. I'm super lucky and super grateful.
You know what's really wonderful about it is we've been talking a lot about, someone once said, and it really resonated with me, that the least interesting thing about someone is the uniform. especially for actors, right? And you talk about political figures, what we know them from the shape that they have to make on TV and the uniform, the way they dress. This symbolically is the story of a real human being trying to fit into a uniform. Right. So all of that discomfiture, all of that is very, very true. And it's exactly the story.
Yeah. It's brilliant. And it's such a joy to watch, honestly. It truly is.
It feels like that. I mean, as someone who had a really good run on The Americans, I was very satisfied with that. I have a family. I am busy with kids. I wasn't looking to do something, and I read this and I was like, oh my God, it's so good. And like, it's not depressing. Yeah. You know, I don't have to sit there and cry every day. It's joyful, it's funny, it's smart, it's alive, it's snappy. I'm beyond grateful to get
and
to be
it's
a
incredibly
part of it.
human because the relationship, the marriage.
Well, that's why we're in it. That's why we're here, you know, because of that.
The marriage is not what people's, you know, it's your definition of a marriage. How would you describe this love story?
Well, I would say the fact is, like, a documentary is universal if it is unbelievably specific to a time and a place and individuals. If you try to make it universal, it becomes mush. Yeah. This is universal because it's about a very odd couple of people, you know, in a normal, universal way. And I think that's what makes it special.
Well, it is special. It's extraordinary. Thank you. I'm going to go home and binge now.
Okay, good. I hope you like it.
I thought you were going to have a go too.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
I'm going to love
Janney.
it.
It's so great.